Another episode of Motivation Limitless. We have here another special guest. I know him as Coach D. I'm gonna let you introduce yourself though.
Deworski Odom.
Okay. Now you're here with me today. You know, one of the sports that I love to fight though sometimes, you know. I want to just start off with first telling us a little bit about yourself, just more so what is the sport? And tell me a little bit of how you got into it.
The sport, track and field. How did I get into track and field? I don't know. I fell into it because I couldn't get picked up to play basketball. Basketball is actually my favorite sport. I was short, very short, so I would never get picked up.
Your pictures look like you were tall though.
No,
Yeah,
when I was younger.
Really?
When I was younger, I was short, very short, to the point where I couldn't fit a regular size uniform. I had to get like a extra small.
Wow.
Yeah. And then I went to the next best thing, was track and field. But you know, there was a young lady involved that I thought was cute, so
That's why you did
I
it.
joined the track team.
Wow. How old were you?
I think I was in the sixth grade. I was in the sixth grade for sure. I was at Shoemaker Middle School. I was in the sixth grade when I started running track. I was actually a miler.
Oh, you started off doing long
A
distance?
lot of people don't know that.
Now, did you do that? Was that for a club or was that for middle school?
I never ran club until my freshman year in high school.
Okay.
But I ran the 2 mile, the mile, and the 800.
Really?
Yeah, and I sucked at all of it.
What made you keep going then?
The same young lady I'm talking about, she was a hurdler. So I said, I'm gonna do the hurdles. And I just naturally caught on to her. And I pick up, I visualize things that I can pick up really easy. Like I pick up really fast. I'm able to slow a lot of things down by watching.
So you was able to break it down and then put it
very easily. Very easily.
All right, so you're able to break everything down, again, as you coach now. Now, if we had to, I did ask here. How did you know you were good?
I kept winning.
Oh, okay.
I kept winning. And then I ended up winning the city championship that year in middle school. And then I never looked back since then.
You just kept going. You just perfected your craft.
Yeah, it just got better. I didn't really watch other people. It was just like, I didn't want to lose. So I always had natural, pretty good foot speed anyway. So with that height in middle school, I'm not saying elementary school, middle school was pretty low anyway. So I used it to my advantage. So I just always watch everybody else jump.
Instead of running through them?
And I wanted to get as low as possible to get back to the ground, to make contact, to get the biggest distance as possible. So
how did you know that though? Were you taught that? Did a coach say that to you? Like, this is what
I was actually self-taught.
Okay.
So, you know, I remember I had a coach, Mr. Stern. He didn't really know much about hurdling. You know, he was more of a football guy and stuff like that, but it was all self-taught. Like, just I watched her. She was really good because she ran for a club.
Okay.
So I mimicked some things she did, and then I just put it in my own arsenal to get better at it. You know, things from there. So that's about it, really.
Did you two ever date or anything?
No, she didn't give me a time of day at all.
I think you might have to thank her though, because
I do. We're real good friends. I told her this story too. I ended up telling her years later, but we're really good friends. She good people.
Okay, yeah. That's good. So now that was what, 6th, 7th grade?
Yep. Sixth, 7th, and 8th.
So you just kept winning.
I kept winning. I didn't lose at all actually in middle school in the hurdles.
And this is, what was the distance?
It was 100 meters.
Okay.
In middle school, for me, it was 100 meters. It was 100 meters, and at that time, you know, still didn't have no schools looking at me. It was just deciding where I was going to go. It was between Overbrook and what's that school called? University City.
Okay.
And I was going to go to University City because my cousin went there. I don't have a lot of family here because I'm from Georgia, and I just thought I looked better in University City colors than Overbrook colors.
Okay, but you ended up where?
My mom said, "You're not going there. You're going to Overbrook because it's up the street." And I went to Brook. I was a nobody.
But you made a name for yourself?
It took a minute.
Okay.
It took a minute. It wasn't, people think automatically it just converted. Nah, Brook was dominant. You know, I was like a little fish in an ocean. Like, Brook was so dominant. We were so good. But the great thing is, and I'm happy because I had a lot of guys that was able to mentor me. You know what I mean? Because I started off, I ran cross country because I thought that was track.
When you went to high school?
Yeah, when I went to high school.
You went back to your miles.
Listen, I used to get next to Laz. The only reason I didn't get Laz, there was a little chubby guy on the team. And I remember quitting cross country. I told my mom, tell my coach, tell Mr. Rose, I quit. Like, I'm not, I quit. I'm done. I don't want to run track anymore. Because I thought cross country was track, not understanding the difference. Mm-hmm. And then with the indoor, and it was just like, just learning. Because I was still small. I was probably like 5'8", 5'9", somewhere around there. So I was still pretty short, pretty small. So it was just a learning curve, like in the beginning. Yeah.
Now, you mentioned about mentors. Do you think that's something important right now that students should have?
For sure. I think everybody should have somebody to look up to, or not necessarily look up to, have somebody that understand them, like where they come from, what they go through, the hard, the easy, how to maneuver some things. Just sometimes it's a conversation. You know what I mean? So it necessarily don't have to be somebody that you look up to. Mm-hmm. Just somebody that want to have that conversation with you and just throw you some knowledge, really.
So if somebody's looking for, like, for instance, if somebody wanted you to mentor them, right?
Mm-hmm.
What would be the best way that I can approach you? Especially because you always look mean. You always look mean. But what's the best way I could approach you? Because I know what you have done, the accomplishments, things like that, and I want advice from you. So how can you be my mentor?
Hey, coach, how you doing? My name is such and such. Hey, how you doing, young man? How you doing? And it's a conversation, and that's it.
That simple.
It's that simple.
I think simple. They make it harder than what it really is.
They do. Because they do be intimidated by me, but I don't know why. And I think, well, I do know why. Part of it is I don't really talk much at track meets. Mm-hmm. I feel more comfortable being around my athletes. I think that with any sport, it doesn't have to do with track, but just in sports in general. You know, you're around certain people. There's always a lot of chatter, and I've never been that kind of person. Mm-hmm. So I try to stick around my athletes. I feel more comfortable around them. You know, that's my sweet spot.
Okay, so me being one of your former athletes, let me tell you why you might be a little intimidating. Just because you don't play.
Oh yeah, I ain't say that though. Yeah.
When it comes to like practice, it's like, this is what we doing because this is what we gonna get done. Like, you're not gonna say strict, but it's just like, focus, let's focus. And I think that's what the kids need though, especially what I needed when I was a sophomore and then going up.
Because I look at coaching as I'm still competing. So it's like, you know, my cell phone is wherever it's at. I don't know. And I'm just in that mode. So it's just like, all right, let's go time. Let's get it. So what are we doing here? Like, you're not going to waste my time. I'm not going to waste your time. So let's focus for this little
You're focused at drill. Listen,
you know,
from the time we get in there, you're focused. Yes.
You know, and I always ask kids, like, when they ask for my help and say this, that, and the third, I'm like, listen, you sure?
Yeah.
And they say, yeah. And they find out. And then they realize, like, all right, this is next level. This is a total different ball game. Because that's my mindset. Like, I only know how to do it one way. Like, I don't know how to take it and I just don't, like, from the beginning. It's just, my mindset is, all right, let's see what we got to get and let's get there. And that's it. That's what you're telling me you want. All right, I'm zeroing in on that. Now, I need you to zero in with me. But a lot of times, I'm a little more, obviously, I'm going to be a little more focused than them, but I just zero in.
You feel like you want it more than them sometimes?
Always.
Okay.
Always.
Okay.
Always. Sometimes I wish, I'm like, be like, damn, just let's go back in time. Like, you know what I mean? Like, let me show you how you really get it done. Like, even when I watched the young men hurdle, I'll just be like, okay. Okay.
All right, wait, let's rewind. Let's go back. All right, so we're in high school now. Mm-hmm. You wanted to quit cross country, but indoor came around. Mm-hmm. Little fish in the ocean.
Yeah, all right, so JV.
So you had JV in a varsity track team.
When I was at Overbrook, it was well over 60, there's almost 70 athletes on the track team.
Wow.
So we, oh wow, you just brought back memories just now, just thinking about it. So varsity wore varsity gray sweatsuits, And JV had to wear these nasty, dingy, orange, old sweats. And I had the dingy orange sweat. And I had to earn my varsity sweat. And it took me into outdoor to get it though. Cause I wasn't nobody indoor neither. Like,
Okay.
just there.
You just ran track.
I was just basically there, but I was getting better. I was getting better. I knew I was getting better.
Was that more so because of you looking at, like the mentors, like you looking at others and seeing how to correct, or was it the coaching you were getting? Was it a JV and varsity coach? How did that happen?
So the JV coach and varsity, it was the same two
Okay.
individuals. I think it was more. I had great leaders on my team, Glenn and Damon Williams and the guys. Like, they were really great leaders. And if you didn't do what you were supposed to do, they're gonna beat the hell out you. Like, it was like that. Like, you know what I mean? I ended up quitting and everything. You know what I mean? But I had really good leaders that taught me how to be a leader, and I think that's why my mindset is always team first, and it's never been about me and my accolades, because I feel as though if I do what I have to do, it's going to help the team, and I can push them to be better. So I've always been team first and me second. It's from start. I've always been like that. Always been like that.
Okay, so outdoor, how'd you earn that varsity?
I was still getting my butt kicked a little bit, but I remember this meet quite vividly. We ran at Lower Marion Invitationals, and I had to run the 100 and I had to run the hurdles. And what happened was I ran the hurdles and I fell. And I was pissed. Because I was winning. And I knew I was going to run a great time. And I remember I had to run the 100 and I was mad. I was mad. And I end up running 11:01 fully automatic in 100 in the 9th grade. My best time before that was only like 12 flat.
Oh, you dropped the whole second, baby.
Yeah, because I was just pissed. And I ended up winning the invitational in 100 that day as a 9th grader. I went from JV to varsity at that day.
So did you have to wait till the next? Did you have to wait for indoor to hit varsity, or it was like after that meet they had a conversation?
After indoor season, but after that meet, later on that outdoor season, I ended up making varsity. Like right before, like several weeks before the Public Championship, I was on varsity. So I still was in the dirty orange jersey. I mean the sweatsuit, because they didn't have any.
They had them wear gray.
Yeah. So I was on varsity, but I didn't.
The visual just.
Yeah.
Y'all still got that orange over Overbrook now?
Not at all. Not at all. Nightmares. No, I don't do that to my kids.
Okay, so all right, so we there 9th, 10th, and 11th. So let's hit 10th and 11th. How were you in the classroom?
Lazy.
Okay.
Lazy.
Like not doing homework, not participating. Would you?
I say I was trifling towards myself. Like knowing I had the ability to do the classwork, but I didn't do it. And I would be in school. Like, I'd be in school, but I just didn't put forth the effort. And I think part of it was I never seen myself at that time, like going to college or, I didn't have, everybody got dreams. I didn't have a dream. Like, it was just going by the motion, just where I'm gonna land, I thought I was gonna go back to Georgia probably. I didn't know, but I didn't dream of going to college. I never thought about going to college. I really didn't know what I wanted to do, to be honest with you. I mean, I really didn't. I'm being honest. I didn't.
So how'd you now think about it? Did you get what was it, an offer came through, or?
I realized how good I was. Like 10th grade.
10th grade?
10th grade. I realized how good I was because I went from not being ranked at all in the state to being top 2 in the state.
Sophomore
year. That summer, after my freshman year in high school, that summer, I ended up running 1091 in 100. And then it translated into my sophomore year, and I was running about like 1070s on a consistent basis. Hurdles, I was running like 15 flat, almost 14 on a regular basis. Then it just started clicking. But still was just like, okay, college, okay. I'm just happy, I'm able on the traveling team and things of that nature. But my first offer came from Army.
Hmm.
I remember that offer. My first offer came from Army. I was excited. I knew I wasn't going to Army. Though. I was excited.
So before even getting to offers in the college, how was your support system during like running track? Did you have people other than like in schools or maybe coaches? What was your at-home support like? You're
Oh,
not from here,
my
so
mom was everything.
okay.
Me and my mom, we were thicker than thieves. Yeah, she supported me with everything. It was just like, you do what you gotta do. Make sure you keep them grades tight, even though they wasn't. But she knew track kept me out the streets. She knew track kept me motivated to even, get my grades better. I did get them better. But we used to have conversations all the time. My mom used to be like, "You get it from me. You get it from me. How every family member, you get it from them." And he's an uncle, "Oh boy, you get it from me. I'm country. You get it from me," and stuff like that. So, but it was always just me and my mom. My dad was passed away, but it was always me and my mom for sure.
Did she attend your track meets?
She would come to pen relays. My mom was a single parent, so obviously she wasn't able to come to a lot of the meets, but she would come to pen relays, things of that. But she knew what her son was doing. She would hear from people like about me and things of that nature.
Sure, she seen you in the newspaper.
She seen me in the newspaper, things of that, like stuff like that. But that was my ace in the hole for sure.
Okay. So now we're heading when that offer came through. She seen it too.
She seen it. I remember we had a conversation, and she was like, "I'm gonna be honest with you. I have no money for you to go." And I said, that was like the first real conversation we had about sports. And I said that. I said, "Don't worry about it. I got it. I'll take care of it." And that was it. That was the last conversation we had about school. That was it. I told her I was gonna take care of it. That was it.
Okay. So after Army, you would have received that what, 11th grade? You received that 10th grade?
Yeah, I received that 10th grade.
Okay.
After that, I became a dog.
Did that motivate you more, or was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it motivated me because I stopped looking at the city. I stopped looking at the pub, even though I did respect the pub. But I didn't compare myself to the pub. I didn't compare myself to the state. I needed to compare myself to the country. If I wanted to be that person, I needed to be top 2, top 3, not top 5. I needed top 2, top 3. I needed to be in, back then we stayed in track and field news. Like, you was like, "Oh, looking at this person, Brian Howard, and this person, Jermaine Stanford." You like, "Oh, I got to be there." So that motivated me. And, from there, going into my junior year, I think I ran like, at this point in time, I'm running like almost like 14 flat, 13 eights, 1060 and 100 fully automatic. And I ended up making my first U.S. team as an 11th grader.
Junior Olympics.
Yeah, I made the junior world team to represent the United States of America. And
Where was that at?
we went to Lisbon, Portugal.
Oh wow, was that your first time?
Yeah,
Oh,
that was my first time over water. I was gone for a while because then they was really invested. The trials was at Florida State. I ended up running 1051 to win it overall. And that was with you. I was 17, 16, 16, 17, somewhere. I can't, like 16 going. I was
That's
16,
big for being that age though. Like,
so at that time, I'm competing against freshmen in college.
yeah.
And, people older than me, and I end up winning 100 meters. And end up, we had to go to, I remember we had to go to Buffalo for like a week for training just to get ready to go to Lisbon. And we ended up having a meet against Canada.
Okay.
We had a meet against Canada, and I ran the 100. They didn't have no idea I ran the hurdles.
I was gonna ask you, so you didn't compete in the hurdles?
Nobody had no idea I ran the hurdles at that level. And I ended up running like 1041 in the first round of the 100. And then I ended up winning the 100, and I ran like 1036.
Your time just kept getting better. Your time
Like,
kept getting
I'm on fire. Like, I'm the
better.
man. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, okay, this is good. This is good. and went over there. I was gone from home for a while too.
So was this during the summer though? Like without school? How did that work?
Yeah, it was. Well, no, school was still in. We was over there for a while, but excused and all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
But I remember going to Portugal, calling my mom phone bill was crazy, like crazy, crazy. I'm calling my best friend, like, bro, like it's crazy over here. You know what I mean? But end up doing well there. End up getting third overall.
Okay.
And end up breaking the junior American record.
But this is just in 100.
This is in 100. Nobody had no idea.
So nobody still know about the hurdles.
At that level, no idea. No idea. Nobody. They just know at that point, everybody know I'm the man in 100.
So did you watch them compete in the hurdles though? And did you look like I can?
No, because I was focused on what I needed to do.
Okay. So you never really, you stayed in your lane.
Yeah.
You just,
I was,
whatever I did.
I was there to do a job. I was there to run the 4x1 lead off, and I was there to run 100. And I never mentioned to anybody that I ran the 110s. I just
did what you was there for?
Yeah, I was there to run the 100 and ended up running like 10:26.
The final. Like
in the final.
So you started from Florida. What was the first one? A 10 what?
I ran 10:51.
And then at the end.
And then I went to Canada. I ran 10:41, 10:33, 10:36. And then went to Lisbon. I remember my rounds like it was yesterday. And then I went there and ran 3 rounds, and I ran 34, 32, and then I ran 10:26.
Wow.
And then,
you still got 10:26 in you?
No. Nah.
You got a mile in you?
Oh yeah, I ran 3 miles a day.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
So you went back to the cross country part. You kind of.
It helps me.
Okay.
I mean, I'm of age, so it helps me, and then now it just helps me a lot. My mom passed away 5 months ago, so it just helps me just clear my head and things like that. So yeah, I'm back doing that now.
So after you won everything, you came back to school now. Came back over here.
So we come back.
Your mom yelled at you about the phone bill.
No, so this is a great thing about it. I didn't get yelled at until later. I didn't end up coming back home for a month, like almost like a month later, because when I came back to the States, I had to leave the same day I came. So I didn't even see my mom. Because I had to go to Florida, at the University of Florida. We had USA Nationals for club. But I was sick as a dog though. I ended up catching a little cold. Got my butt kicked. I got my butt kicked.
Now, was this in 100?
I lost 100 and the hurdles.
Okay.
Because I was just sick.
So how did they find out about the hurdles? How'd you get in with the hurdles now?
Because I ran club.
When did you start club though?
So my first year running club was my freshman year. When I ran for the Winfield Hawks. Team was dominant. Like we were so good. Like we were really good. It was a mixture. A lot of guys from Brook, Bach, University City.
That's the one thing about club. It's like you get we all from different schools.
But we had the best of the best. Like we were really that good. Like it was like how William Penn was back in the day. So we was really that good. So you
started club at 9th grade?
Yeah.
Would you have started club earlier?
I didn't know anything about club.
Yeah, if you knew about club, would you think you would have started earlier? You think 9th grade is a good? Because for somebody who wants to, maybe they're younger or they're in middle school or maybe in high school and had never touched, track in a club atmosphere, do you think they should get in it? Do you think, and if track is something they want to pursue, even if like going to college?
I think it's more genuine when it's something the kid want to do.
Okay.
And not
the parent being forced to
you running club, you know what I mean? Because as time goes on, like they're not interested no more. I had so many athletes that came to Brook that ran track, they didn't run for Brook because they were just burnt out because they've been running clubs since they were 6 years old. I can't even imagine. Like you wasn't a kid. Like I was able to be a kid. I'm outside
playing basketball.
I smell like outside back in the day. It's like you know what I mean? Like these kids is like it's a regiment. Oh hell no. You know what I mean? It was just I was able to be a kid, and sometimes I feel like parents try to force their kids to be something they're not and not probably ready for. I mean, even now with me with club, with my my youth team, for me that is my time to give back, right? It's my time to develop, but at the same time, I do get parents that want to turn up and want me to do this, and I'm like, I'm not that coach. I'm not that guy. They're not ready for that. Like, keep it fun.
I was gonna say that's one thing you do, especially with the young ones. I know
Yeah,
when we was training with club.
Keep it fun because
they enjoyed it.
I know the business side of it, and it's not. I know the business side of it, and it can be a total different animal that you're not ready for. You know what I mean?
That people are trying to rush into.
Yeah, and a lot of times, yeah, I didn't even know what I was going to be later on. Like I eventually I knew it, but before I had fun.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
I think people take the fun out of the sports though.
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons why I retired because it wasn't fun anymore. You know, I mean, I could still do it at a high level, but it just wasn't fun. You know, I think a lot of times, and I get it. You know, the parents see their child that's really athletic, and they want to push them to be better. You know what I mean? I totally get it. But I think sometimes you have some parents that do go overboard and the kid doesn't do it anymore, or the kid end up doing another sport and that cancel out track. I see it a lot.
Or they get injured.
Or they get
injured. Yeah.
Or they get injured. But I see it a lot though. I see it a lot. I see it a lot.
That's insane. All right, so where we at now? Senior year, junior year, because you came back already.
Junior year.
How was that?
I mean,
you still on fire?
It was a magical year. I mean, I was the number one. At that time, I was the number 100-meter sprinter in the country. I was the number 110 hurler in the country. And that's when everybody found out that I could hurdle. And, you know, and the coaches come into me and they like, you got a twin? Like that? And I'm like, no. They was like, so you just ran 1370 and 1032? And I'm like, yeah. And they was like, oh, okay. You know what I mean? Like that. But the hurdles it was my best event. I love the hurdles. Like that was my baby. But the 100 made me a dog though, because you have to be aggressive. And I love that energy. You know what I mean? So it was just
from start to finish too. Yeah. It's no.
Yeah. It was just with the hurdles, it was just I guess it was the rhythm because I can't dance. So it was the rhythm.
That's different. Yeah. For you to say that in
I can't dance. I got a mean two-step though. I can't dance. I got a mean two-step, but I can't dance.
You got two left feet?
I'm left-handed, so I got to listen, they might be going left that way, but it's mean though. It's gonna be a heck of a rhythm with that left. But yeah, I think the challenge of the hurdles. Because the hurdles can be difficult, but you can dominate the hurdles. Like you can, I used to have conversations with the hurdles. You know what I mean? Like I'm coming to
you gotta love them. Yeah, you gotta love. It's like a love-hate.
It's a love-hate because I tell people like, it's gonna be some great days over the sticks, and it's gonna be some bad ones. But you make them bad ones, and you learn from them bad ones.
Oh, trust me, I remember. Yeah, coming to you and I done hit the hurdle and tumbled and I had to get back up and do it again. Yeah, you have to. I think I still got the scar.
My knees and ankles are all jacked up with scars. You know what I mean? So, but I feel like it teaches you something. It makes you.
Yeah. I agree.
I want to put it. You understand. Like what's the job? What's the goal? What's the knowledge you have to learn about that event? Like you just, as the hurdles get higher, you really have to know. Like you have to know.
What's the height right now for men?
College is 42 inches, which is professional too. So that's the highest they get. So.
I'm only 5'4". That's crazy.
Yeah. Listen, so them 42s. 22s and 42s is a whole nother animal though.
By 11th grade, how tall were you though?
By 11th grade, I was about 6'1.5".
So you grew about 4 inches.
Yeah, I was about 6'1.5", about 180.
Did you think about basketball?
I love basketball.
Did you think about it?
Yes, Lord. Yes. Just to go forward it real quick, I actually we were really good in basketball in Brook. Like we was like top 10 in USA Today. Like we were really good.
Brook is a dominant school for
yeah.
Okay.
Really good. And I remember talking to one of the players, Andre Howard was like one of the best players in the country at the time. He ended up going to Pitt and playing ball. Seems our center. He was like 6'11". He was like, He said, Deworski, you can hoop. I'm like, I know. I'm like, yo, hook me up with Mr. Ford. Tell Mr. Ford I can play. He was like, all right, I'm gonna tell Mr. Ford. So I come in the gym. Mr. Ford was like, yeah, I heard you can play Deworski. I'm like, yeah. He was like, let me see you dribble up and down the court. Did it. Let me see your jump shot. He said, can you do anything special? Did a windmill. He was like, oh, okay, go back to track. I was like, damn. I'm thinking I'm good now. Everybody on the basketball team, they really fighting for me to get on the team. He was like, yeah, go back to track. Man, go ahead, bye, man. Go ahead, track. You're a track guy. I'm like, Coach Ford, like for real? But I love basketball.
Do you still like basketball?
Love basketball.
Okay. College or NBA?
I love it, period. It doesn't matter. I'm a USC fan, Carolina fan.
He had to throw that out there.
Yeah, I'm a big time Carolina fan. Carolina all day. Sorry. Pitt played good, though, yesterday.
Okay.
Yeah, played good, though.
All right. Did they win?
No.
But they played good.
They played good.
Okay.
They played good. Carolina they're just tough. They have some lethal weapons.
There you go. So, all right, junior year offers coming through?
Wow, the Wazoo. Like, I couldn't keep up. Like, I literally couldn't keep up.
What was mom like at this time?
She didn't know what the hell was going on. Like, she was like, this is for you. Like, it was just an influx. It was just 20, 30 mails a day, like, phone calls. My mom was like, well, what are you going to do? And I'm like, so what I started doing was any schools that spelled my name wrong, they went in the trash. That's how I eliminated them. You know what I mean? Broke it down.
That's respect, though. Yeah.
Because you didn't want me
if you really wanted me, you would have.
At least spell my name right.
To get me to open it.
Yeah, at least spell my name right. And what I did was I started eliminating schools from there. But I already had like an idea what schools I did like.
Okay. Did you want to stay close to home at the time?
No, I was going back down south. I'm a country boy, so I knew I was going back down south to go to school.
Okay.
I knew I wasn't staying up north. I knew that for a fact. That was like literally a no-brainer.
When did you come up north?
I was young. I was about like 5, 6, something like that.
Okay.
Some crap like that. But I used to always go back down south. And my mom, we even had a conversation going into my senior year, going back to Georgia and finishing in Georgia. You know what I mean? Just to represent the state where I'm from. But I was just like, yeah, Georgia home, but Philly home too. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. Georgia know what it is.
Yeah.
My blood there. But I broke them down to, I know Tennessee was one of my picks. Clemson.
Okay.
USC out in Cali. University of North Carolina was one for sure. And
so you've been a fan since.
Yeah. But it's different though, because it wasn't about being a fan. I had relationships with each school with one of them coaches. Like they impact me somewhere. Like we had genuine conversations. So it was like, it's crazy. Like, and I still know all of them.
So from there though, then how did you narrow that down? Now, was it the distance? Was it the conversation with mom? Was it like...
No, it was... I end up building a crazy relationship with guys that went to Clemson. And I mean, crazy relationship. Tony Willard, Chambers, he was a Canadian. Oh man, Aaron Haynes. These are guys that I was on the U.S. team with, and they gravitated to me like I'm a little bro. And it wasn't that they was trying to get me to come to Clemson. It was like that. It was genuine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it was just, I'm like, yeah, I think I want to go there. Okay. And at the time, I was pretty good in football too.
So you played football?
Yeah.
For high school?
Mm-hmm.
Let me guess. Oh, I was gonna say, let me guess. I would have said receiver though.
My bad.
I would have gave you receiver. You fast. I would have said. Yeah. Ain't nobody jam you on the line?
No, I was too big.
Okay.
I was too big. At this time, senior, I'm 6'1". I mean 6'2". I'm 295. There's not much you can do with me, at the high school level. And running that fast, you know what I mean? I can play. But it was just, I did want to play in college, but I had some schools, I'm not going to mention them, but.
They said you had to make a choice? They
wanted me to play quarterback.
Really?
But I could throw the ball almost 70 yards.
Okay.
But I could play quarterback, though. I actually love playing quarterback. The only reason I played receiver in high school, because I felt as though our offensive line wasn't that good. And you're not about to kill me back there. So I might as well do a little out and the quarterback can get the ball to me. I'm smart. Like I'm, and stuff like that. So,
I ain't getting hit.
No. I ain't listen. I used to enjoy coming home clean. I enjoy coming home clean. That means you didn't get a chance to hit me. You know what I mean?
Was y'all good over good
No,
football?
we was horrible.
Okay, so that wasn't one.
We had good players. It was just the offense we was running that just didn't
work out.
And then we had these dumbass orange helmets. They be like
the uniform and the colors.
They used to be like the pumpkin heads are here. The pumpkin heads are here. But I did love our colors. I did genuine love orange. That was like
that's actually my favorite color.
I did because it was just like you become it.
Okay.
You know what I mean? You become it, and then you hear the stories. You have no choice but to love the orange and black, not black and orange. The orange and black.
Okay.
That's what people get confused. They be like the black and orange. No, it's the orange and black. You know what I mean? So it's like you embrace it. You become the colors. You become the people. How long
did it take you to become the colors?
Not really long.
Okay. So it took you.
So I started learning history.
I think that's so. Just hearing you, I can tell that you've done a lot of research. When you were saying like the track news, like who was number one, times, things like that.
I know everybody I competed against. I need to know your weakness, your strengths.
Do you know? I don't think they do that anymore.
I actually teach my kids that now.
That's the 1% though.
But you have to. You have to compete against.
Some people don't.
You have to. Like I realized, like even running as a professional, like running the hurdles, I needed to know different hurdlers' cages. Like, can you run? How are you going to react if I'm right next to you? If I'm going to take you off your rhythm, what are you going to do? Are you going to be excited and try to go too fast and not ready? I needed to know everything. I need to know everybody.
So did you watch film on?
All the time. All the time. I need to know if that lead leg was too slow. I need to know everything straight down the board.
That's a champion mindset.
Yeah, I always was like that. I do it now. Like with my kids, like people be like, oh, yeah, I know who's weak and where they're weak on their team. On the opposite team, I know where they're weak. I know what they're doing wrong already. I'm going to expose that. Mm-hmm. And I will. If I got the right person, I'm going to.
It sounds like a recruiting podcast now because they going to come to you. They coming to you. They leaving their team. They coming to you. Okay. All right. So we at top. You chose your college?
I end up.
Uh-oh.
So, like I said, the grades wasn't there. So I end up going on my visit to Clemson for football.
Okay.
Going to visit Clemson for football, everything was great. Come back home. Take that back. I went on my visit for track from Clemson.
Okay.
That's what it was. Went on my track visit for track for Clemson. Went back home. They said, all right, academically, you're not eligible to get in. And I'm like, all right, what's the next step? I'm going to go to JUCO. And then I had to go back out there for a visit for football. I'm like, what's my time? Just say football rules.
They helped you. Football, you got in with football. Yeah. You got in with football. Yeah.
Basically, like, you come in here, you come in to play ball.
Yeah.
And I was like, my mom was like, and that was the first time my mom actually stepped in and took it out of my hands and was like, you're not going there. I don't care. You're going to take your butt to JUCO. You messed up. You didn't do what you're supposed to do academically. Go out to Alabama. And that's what I did.
Where'd you run in Alabama?
I went to Wallace State in Hansfield, Alabama.
Okay. How long were you out there?
I did my two. I did my little bid. I did my bid. No, it's hard. Like, people don't think junior college is hard. If you talking about sports, like, it's not community college in Philadelphia. Like, we're talking about being in Hansville, Alabama, where the Ku Klux Klan is still active, and you ain't never been that far before in your life. And I'm like, yeah, Mom, I'm ready to come home. Like, it was a struggle. It was definitely, and it wasn't about missing home. It was hard. And part of the reason it was hard because I wasn't the man no more. I wasn't the man.
You had some top athletes there?
We had dogs.
And you know what? I think when people like really look down on JUCOs, but they don't realize there's still some top athletes there, but they just couldn't get to where they wanted to go due to grades.
We had two guys running 44 seconds in a quarter. My boy Jay Wise, Young. We had several guys running 20 point in the 200, 10-2, 10-1 in the 100. I'm like, but what I realized was I started making an excuse, and my excuse was one of the star athletes is not going to fit in, and I said it was me. But that was my excuse of not putting in the hard work to be the best out of the bunch, or being one of the best out of the bunch. But I'd rather be the man out of the bunch. And plus, I was coming off some injuries too. That was the first time I got hurt coming out of high school too, as well. So
what did you hurt?
my hamstring. I heard it.
Just pulled it, or it was?
Yeah, I yanked that thing. We was running at NC State High School National. That's when it was at NC State, and I knew for a fact I was gonna run probably at least 10:09 that day. I felt it when I was transitioning through the race, and I felt my cycles, and I felt everything line up to where I needed it to be. And my hamstring just couldn't take it because I wasn't in the weight room and stuff like that. I ran a bunch of relays, running people down 20 meters and stuff like that. So I put a lot of stress on my body, and it just went. I don't have a picture no more. I'm glad I don't, but it was just phases how the photographer had phases how I felt like first went up and stuff like that. And they still flew me out to go out for the U.S. team again. But I wasn't able to get through the first round. I was disappointed. That was like the first time I ever was disappointed. So it took me a minute to get healthy again. And to be honest with you, I was never healthy in junior college. I was just talented. You know what I mean? I was still able to run like 10-3 and 100, which was for me was slow. I was still able to run like 14:01 and 42, stuff like that. But my hamstring was still messed up. I still had a bunch of scar tissue in there. I was overweight.
Were you doing rehab?
I was doing rehab, but when I ended up leaving, we found out that my scar tissue was forming horizontally. Sometimes scar tissue moving up and down.
Yeah,
mine was forming. And then when they realized it, that's when it started breaking up. And then I was back.
Okay. So do you feel like, you said you wasn't in a weight room? Do you feel like you should have been in a weight room?
I didn't know anything about weights.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like,
I didn't either in high school.
I didn't know anything about weights. It was just, you go out there and run. You know what I mean? But as through high school, as I was getting older, I was getting bigger. You know what I mean? I was getting more muscle mass just from the running. But I wasn't taking care of my muscles and feeding my muscles like the things that these young kids are doing now. You know what I mean? So I didn't know anything about that kind of stuff. Like, I could probably count on my one hand how many times I was in the weight room in high school. Total. Like,
how was your nutrition?
Suck. Like, I'll be.
Flashback.
I would be walking to practice, no lie, walking to practice, eating, as the kids say now, pause, a hot sausage. To practice.
Walking to practice eating it?
Walking to practice.
If somebody eat that now going to your practice, they're going to throw up.
Yeah, they're not going to do it because they're gonna get fussed at, but
yeah.
Like, it was just, you know what I mean? So that's how I went about it. But as my high school career went on, like I started figuring some things out because I ended up having like a crazy dominant senior indoor year. You know what I mean? Breaking a national record, like what I broke it 4 times in 2 different events or something like that. I ended up running 662 in the 60 and 762 in the 60-meter hurdles, but I broke them records several times in the rounds. So I was the first person in history to ever do that back to back. You know what I'm saying? So, I just had a really good senior year that indoor season. Didn't have outdoor season even go as planned, like the end part.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I was solidified by then. I already knew I was going to school for free. It was just.
So you was there at the JUCO for 2 years. And where'd you go?
So I ended up. This is what people don't really. This is a lot of people don't know this. I was still getting football offers.
Oh wow.
Still getting football offers. I remember Steve Spurrier. He was the head football coach at Florida. And,
you really was staying down south.
Yeah, for sure. And he was looking for me to come there, but he didn't even play D-back.
What'd you say?
I said, "Coach, I ain't hitting nobody. I ain't hitting nobody." But I was, at the time, and the crazy thing, I was overweight. I was like 225, but I was still running a 1440. So I was still rolling. They was looking at the size of me, and I'm just like, yeah, I ain't nobody. So I end up, I made a visit back to Clemson, but I end up committing to Alabama. I'm a big time Alabama fan. A lot of people don't know I committed to Alabama. And me and Terrence Trammell actually went on our recruiting trip together at the University of Alabama. And we talked, and we was, trying to figure out what we was going to do. And I remember I was going to sign, and I was really done junior college. And then it came and hit me. They said, I need a language. And they was like, oh, you got to go back. And I was like, no, I'm not. And that kept me from going to University of Alabama because I was not going back to no junior college to take that language. I wasn't going back.
You couldn't do it like a class over the summer? They ain't have that?
No, I wasn't staying in Alabama. I was ready to go. Oh. Like, I was ready to go. I was ready to come back home and move on. You know what I mean? I was ready. But I didn't know where I was going to go, though. I still had a bunch of schools. South Carolina still wanted me. A bunch of schools that still wanted me. And I really considered South Carolina because Coach Fry was there. He was the reason why I wanted to go to North Carolina because he was there. And I'm really good friends with him now. Like, he's a big time mentor of mine. I love that man to death. And I was like, all right, Coach, I'm going to come there. And he's like, all right, I need you to get this language. And, you're at CC. So, all right. I was like, I got to figure this out. I wanted to go there, but I didn't want to figure it out. And then I get a phone call from one of my, remember I told you my teammate at 44 seconds. He was like, yo, you come to St. Paul? I said, St. Paul. I said, what's that? He said, North Carolina. I said, bro, that's D2. He was like, yeah, come on. I was like, bro, that's D2. Nah, cuz, I'm good, cuz. And then another one of my really good friends ran for Texas A&M, Rodriguez Fister from DC. And he said, what you doing, young? I said, fool, what's up? He said, I'm going to St. Aug. He was like, yeah. I said, bro, you doing D2, right? He was like, bro, come on to the Aug. And I was like, all right, man. I'm going to go to the Aug. Okay. And that's how I end up going to St. Aug. I end up going to St. Aug. But I wasn't there long, though. I wasn't.
How long was you there?
My mom couldn't take me. So my grandma, my pop, they took me, and they from Henderson, North Carolina, where Flojo is from. Okay. So they took me. So we get on campus, and I'm like, the first thing I see, I'm like, damn, black girls. Ooh. I ain't see a bunch of them in a minute. Like, I'm in Alabama. I'm like, whoa. I'm like, all right, that. Okay, that's cool. And everything looked cool. They tell me they're getting housing together. I didn't meet Coach Williams yet. I did meet Coach Williams. I did meet him. We had a little conversation. And then they're getting housing together. And then my grandparents, they take me to the housing. And it was like a suite. Like the suite had held like, I don't know, like 5 people, but the suite looked like this, an open space. It was here. My grandma, I'm like, this look like camp or some kind of juvenile detention center. And I was looking, I'm like, I said, where the air at? Oh, my grandma said, come on, let's go. We put everything in the car, and we leave them. I called Coach Williams. I said, I'm cool. I'm sorry for wasting your time. I'm going to figure it out. I said, my grandma let me stay in them dorms. I don't want to stay in them dorms. Oh, homeboy, no, don't go nowhere. Homeboy. And they ended up putting me in a freshman dorm. Okay. With AC. I was like, my grandma said, you cool with this? I said, as long as I got air, I'm fine. And, you know what I mean? So I ended up staying at the dog. That was funny. That was funny.
Did you room with one of them?
No. Okay. They end up rooming me with actually one of my teammates from Wild State, from JUCO. J.S. Outlaw, he was a hurdler.
I think y'all all planned like to go there.
No, I really didn't. I wasn't going to St. Aug. Like, it wasn't even in the picture. Because St. Aug recruited me out of high school. And I was like, I ain't going there. I'm going to D1. Like, you crazy. What am I going to do D2 for? But I'm going to be honest with you, it ended up being the best decision I ever made.
Why do you say that?
It was just the one-on-one attention I did get, the knowledge, and the fact that at the time, Coach Williams had already been a world championship coach. He was about to be the next head Olympic coach. And, he really had a conversation with me. And he said, listen, he said, you give me everything, you're going to get everything you need. He said, do not listen to this rental athletes are just mad. Like, they get you caught up. That's everywhere. They get you caught up saying, oh, this, that, and the third. And I said, all right. And everything he promised me, I got. I didn't worry about nothing. And it was just, he was just a genuine person. That's my pop. We still talk. That's my old man. He fuss at me right now because they want to induct me to the NCAA Hall of Fame, but I haven't done none of the paperwork. And part of it is he knows what's going on with me. Just my mindset just haven't been there with the death of my mom and stuff like that. So I told him I'm gonna get it done. I told him we talked a few weeks ago about it. Oh boy.
You gotta record it now so you know that you gotta get it done.
I'm gonna get it done. I'm gonna get it done. But still got a great relationship, and he's just, when it was time for me to turn pro and all them things, everything was there.
So he was your coach?
He was my coach.
For the next how long?
A year and a half.
Okay.
I don't even know percent off for a year and a half.
And then pro. Okay.
Yeah.
Did you get your degree from there?
Yes.
Okay. What's your degree?
Education.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Did you now, because remember, you never had the dream and everything. So how'd you know what major? You was just like, let me choose one?
No, it was so when I was always into like astronomy.
Okay.
I did like that kind of stuff. So my major in astronomy in junior college. And then when I went to St. Aug, they didn't have it. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna do law. Because I did take a few law classes in Alabama that I really enjoyed. It was just different though. Like they didn't do mock trials and stuff like that. I was accustomed to, and just that interaction. I was just like, all right, I'm not doing this.
Most people do communications. That's why I say you went to education.
I went to education because, and the reason why I went to education, I did a track camp with Coach Williams, and this lady was like, I was working with the kids, and the lady was just like, you're awesome with kids. She was like, you're gonna work with kids. I was like, no, I ain't. Yeah, okay. She said, I wish I could see her now to this day, but she was like, you gonna work with kids. And I ended up enjoying it. And I was like, let me do education. And then I just went that route. And I minored in child development and stuff like that. So it was cool.
Okay. All right, now we turn pro now. It's the good part. The juicy part. I like all the groundwork and the foundation. But now here we go to business side.
The turning pro thing was
what made you turn pro?
I never really thought about it until after my first year at St. Because we had the guy, again, Jerome Young, that's my guy. I call him, or his nickname, I call him JY. This dude ran like 4409 out of lane 9. Lane 9. Yeah, 4409.
From lane 9.
In New Orleans. That was the first time I qualified for a U.S. team, a senior team, like going out for one. And nothing I did could top anything he did. So he was the man. So I was just like, all right, this dude done. It's my time. So that next season came, and I just flourished, like just ripping off crazy times. You know what I mean? Like 13, 30, a couple of 10, 19. I hated the 200. But running
did you do 200 in your training though?
Yeah. I'll do them in training. I didn't like running over 110 meters. So, but if I had to do a 200, I'd do one. I just didn't like them.
Okay.
I just didn't like how I felt. And it was just like the times were dropping. I was looking at who were the top hurdlers, and at that time it was Terrence Trammell, Dwayne Wallace, and it was me. We were the top 3 hurdlers collegiately that year. And then it was just like, my coach had a conversation. He was like, it's time. Like I had eligibility. He was like, it's time. I said, well, coach, I want to give you at least another indoor season. Let me give you this indoor season for everything you've done for me. Like, this is.
That was nice. Yeah.
Giving it back because I could have rolled. I said, let me give you this indoor season, and ended up having a dominant indoor season. Ended up winning the hurdles and the sprints back to back. I was the first collegiate athlete to do that. Division 1, Division 2 at the time. To do that, and ended up getting NCAA Athlete of the Year.
Okay.
Yeah, my last big ring with the Og, and ended up breaking the national record in the hurdles. I ended up getting place out. Yeah, I ended up winning. Yeah, I did win the 55 that year. And
Now, the fact that you're at a D2, because remember, D2 wasn't even in the picture.
so this is what people don't know. I mean, I know you don't know. You're younger, but Division One, Division Two nationals was together indoor.
Oh, wow.
In Indianapolis. So Division Two would run in the morning, and Division One would run in the evening. And we all come to have this crazy party. It was a vibe.
That's good.
Yeah, it was a vibe. You know what I mean? Like, especially you seeing a lot of guys you know that's at the Division One level that you knew already anyway. So that was cool.
So you were able to compete against them.
Well, they would watch me. You know what I mean? Because they still kept it separate with the divisions and stuff like that. But they used to have the championship the same weekend to combine together, Division Two and Division One. And it used to be in Indianapolis where the coach used to play at. So it used to be it was fun. I had a good time.
Oh, that's good. Now your coach told you that it's time to go pro.
Yeah, he told me it was time to go pro. So I qualified for my first Olympic trials, my senior year in high school. I qualified for the 6 Olympic trials. And at that time, John Drummond, who went to Overbrook, was running with a group called HSI out in California. His coach at the time was John Smith. And I remember being at the 96 Olympics. I didn't compete. They ended up sending me to Europe for a while just to compete. That's when the U.S. team would just have a bunch of developmental stuff for like the up and coming guys. They just send me for Europe and run a bunch of meets and stuff like that. And I remember talking to HSI, talking to John Smith, and it was just like, yo, when it's time, I want you to come with us. And I'm like, it's on. So when it was time to make that move, it didn't happen. There was some things, with some people in the middle
that didn't allow to happen.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think Coach Smith was mad at me, not knowing, and me not knowing at the time that what was really happening.
Yeah, it was really happening.
And I end up not knowing where I was gonna go. I'm in North Carolina, and then Jerome was training with Trevor Graham, which is a letter guy to death. Come over to Spring Capital with us. I'm like, all right, well, you think he's gonna have me? And we talked. He was like, I'll let her have you. And we just got it popping. It was just, I enjoyed everything. I think coaching, while my style comes a lot from him.
So it mimics him.
Yeah, I mimic a lot of things. Obviously, I do my own thing, but just the concept of being a sprinter and knowing what you need to do and things like that. I was always a student of the sport.
What did you think? So being a student of the sport, what do you think that you had to work on the most? Was it coming off that hurdle? Was it that trail leg? Was it the lead leg? Was it the quickness in between? What would you say it was like?
Consistency.
It's a good one. Okay.
That was because like I said, I caught on like that.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't, like I can be hurt and I can see Tim Montgomery and I'm doing block work and I'm looking at everything they're doing. And I can come off my injury and I'm doing everything they're doing. And Tim Montgomery's like, he said, Deworski, you can hold that, you can be crazy. You're gonna be dominant. But I think the thing with me was I was so good in 100 and I was so good in the 110s. I had a unique situation because I would go back and forth to each event. You know what I mean? It was just like we never really pinpointed one event that I was going to focus on.
Do you feel like if you would have focused on one, you would have been quicker?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I just don't know which event though. Like I loved the 100 at that time. I loved it, and the hurdles, obviously, the love was always going to be there.
Yeah.
But I really don't know. Like,
wow. How long were you pro for?
About 6 years.
Okay.
6 years.
What would you say was your biggest accomplishment being pro?
I had a breakout meet in Flagstaff, Arizona. And this was Olympic year. That was what? 2000, yeah, 2000. And I couldn't get the standard for some reason. And I'm pro. But I'm running good times, but I'm very inconsistent. And I'm down. And my coach was like, Just go out to Arizona, just get away. You can get a race in. And I ended up going out there and I ended up running like 10:19.
Okay.
And ran the hurdle. I ended up running like 13:30. And I was like, I called my coach. 13:30. He was like, Deworski, stop playing. And it's Trevor. Trev, like, he's Jamaican too. So he like, stop playing. I said, Trev, I just ran 13:30, man. He said, man, get your ass back out there and do it again. You know, that's his line. Get your ass out, do it again. And I went up on the next day, the finals, I ended up running like 13:33. And I was like, yo, I'm coming home. Let's go. I called my agent. I got it. Let's get it done. And
what do you think that was for you? That
I guess it came together. And the biggest, I think what it was though, when me and Trevor, we talked about it and I sat back and looked at it too, was being a collegiate athlete, you run all the time. You run every weekend, every weekend, every weekend. Being a professional, you ain't working out. You ain't running every weekend. You may run today and you not running again for another 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Maybe a month. Just depending on what meets you can get into and if it's worth going to as well. So it was just like, I didn't have a real rhythm. Like my rhythm was off. I couldn't.
You didn't have so much repetition.
Yeah, I
like
couldn't
with the
catch up.
competition.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? In practice, I was cool, but it wasn't the same. You know what I mean? And we had so many big time athletes. You talking about Marion Jones, Kenny Brickenborough, Tim Montgomery, Ramon Clay, Jerome Young, Antonio Pettigrew. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you name it, we had them there. So it was just like, all right, I got to fit in where I can fit in. You know, I'm the little pup. So, you know, everybody got a deal. You know what I mean? Everybody got a deal. Ain't nobody out there without no deal. So you got a deal that don't mean nothing. You just fight to the survival. You know what I mean? So it was just understanding being a professional and what you got to do at that time. Then you learn about nutrition and going to sleep on time and things of that nature. And it finally clicked. It finally clicked, and from there, I go into the Olympic trials. I'm one of the picks to make the team. You know what I mean? So it was just like,
how was that experience?
Oh, it was crazy. Just flying out there, people knowing you are.
Where the trials at?
It was in Sacramento.
Okay.
Knowing you are, you know, you get to your room, it's just these Nike bags.
I was about to say stuff laid out and everything.
Just gear everywhere. You know what I mean? Then you still got the Nike party. You partying with Mary J. Blige and Vivica Fox, and you know what I mean? And I'm like, I made it, baby. You know what I'm saying? Like you there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? For track, that's one of our top levels to get. And it was just like, all right, let's get it. I'm ready. You know what I mean? I had great confidence. I had a great first round. You know what I mean? Terrence Trammell, I'm in 2, he in 8. And we going at it all the way through the finish line and make it to the next round, things of that nature. And I was ready. I was ready. It was like 100 degrees out there. And I didn't false start. It was a false start, and they brought us back. And I just knew I was about to roll. And I end up, as I'm coming back to the starting block, I caught a cramp. With my right hamstring. And I'm like, come on, God. Come on, not right now, bro. Like, come on. So I'm relaxing, trying to get my mind together. And that cramp wouldn't go nowhere. And it was just, I was disappointed, but they knew I was next up. But it was just, you know, a lot of stuff happens, and that's just learning how to be a professional. You know what I mean? And I took heed to it a lot that next season of just how I went about my business, going to bed at, not necessarily going to bed, but in bed by 10. You know, not out drinking and out partying. And, you know, I ate my food, but I made sure I burned it off doing something and things like that. And, you know, my mindset was a lot different going into my sophomore year as a professional. And I did really well. It was just, the game is different.
So what would you say, like right now? So even like the collegiate athletes right now who want to go professional, what is some advice you can give to them just from you being in that position, already having that experience? Is it because some people in college still want to have fun and enjoy things of that nature? Is it more so like pay attention to what you're putting in your body, make sure you do recover, things of that nature? What can you say?
I think obviously you always want to make sure you're doing the right things, but have fun too though.
Okay.
Like don't allow it to just take over everything, because once you allow it to take over everything and you have that one letdown, it's a crazy mental block to get past. You know what I mean? So it's continue to have fun, but always know the goal, always know the job is at hand, where you need to be at. And I tell a lot of people that, people are like, oh, I want to go pro. And I'm like, you sure? Because just saying it and just doing it is not the same. You know what I mean? Because it's a whole different ball game, because you can be like, oh, I'm worth this. And then somebody saying, no, you worth that. That's not a good feeling. When somebody saying, oh, no, you worth that. You ain't worth what you think you are. You worth that. And I don't think people know the business side. Like, you only have a handful.
I think that's a lot of sports too, though.
Yeah. But they don't, it's just, people see what's going on TV.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the game is, just track itself is just, it's changed so much in years. Like even with Nike, when I first went with Nike, like I remember the swoosh being small, but they made the swoosh big. That's why it's big on the sneakers now. It wasn't never used to be like that. But people wearing it, they wanted to advertise, they wanted to get it out there. You know what I mean? It's definitely it's a business.
That you have to be prepared for.
Well, what's crazy? You really can't be.
I was gonna say, how do you prepare them?
It's learning experience, but I think the biggest thing is having the right people.
I was gonna say, what about having a mentor? Yeah. Okay.
And I didn't. You know what I mean? Like Coach Williams was there, but when it came down to like certain things, or like my deal and how I went about my business, obviously I wasn't in the street like that, but just spending money. You know what I mean? Like I'm just kid from West Philly. I ain't no bread. That first check. Oh yeah, come mall run. Let's go. Things of that nature.
What'd you get from the mall?
Oh, whatever I wanted to get. You know what I mean? Like, oh man, yeah.
Did you buy mom something?
My mom was always taking care of.
Oh, okay.
Like, she ain't never had to worry about nothing.
That's
No, she ain't never had to worry about nothing. But yeah, it was just if I had a chance to do it over, that'll be the side of the business side I would have took a lot serious. I just didn't know nothing about it. I didn't know. I remember when I hurt my foot, like he came out with the shoes that had like the springs in the back, and it ended up dropping my arch really bad. And I'm like, all right, if I show them I'm fight through it, like I'm good. So my agent, well, why did he take the season off? And I'm like, what? I'm like, well, y'all would have cut some of my money, and it really didn't matter, because the year before I'm top 5 in the U.S. The following year I'm not. The third year I'm not. Whatever. So it's just like, you gotta get back there. You gotta figure things out. You know what I mean? It's because one thing about track is not one of them sports that it's not easy. Travel is not cheap. You have to get to the meet. I don't see how these kids buy these sneakers. Like I remember
coming to your school with Balenciagas and.
Listen, I'm just even that. I'm just talking about Nike. Like I ain't paying $150 for these things. Like dang, they cost that much money. Bags cost like $300, and I'm like, I had no idea. I'm getting it for free, but I never knew that stuff was that expensive. You know what I mean? So it's just like, you just look at things a lot different. You know what I mean? You put a lot of things in perspective, and you like, yeah, okay. Howdy doody. I don't know about that.
And then right now, so you after professional 6 years, what did you end up doing? End up coming back to Philly?
I came back to Philly. So when my Nike situation was up, I had an Adidas deal on the table, and I was in Philly.
Okay.
But I was flying every Thursday back to North Carolina to train with my collegiate coach, Coach Chapman. And I was traveling back and forth to train with him. And I came home to visit my mom. I didn't drive at this time. I didn't drive back home. I said, well, I'm going to go visit one of my friends. So I get on the G bus. And I get on the bus. Some people in front of me. I get on the bus and I step this leg, which is my lead leg, onto the bus. The bus driver closed my leg in the door. So I'm thinking, he going to know it's me. He pulls off. So as he pulling off, I'm banging on the door, hopping on one leg, hitting the door. They're like, he outside, he outside. And he's not dragging me because bus is not that fat, but I'm hopping, and there's a car coming in the park. And I yanked my leg, and I was able to yank it out, and I lost muscle mass in my quad, all my muscle mass. And I had to go through rehab and training, and I ended up losing the Adidas deal, and I had to go through this whole situation with SEPTA. But I came back the next year, and I wasn't the same anymore. I think the rehab took so much out of me. The athlete was still there, but mentally I wasn't there no more. And I was like, you know what? Let me take this degree and do something with it. You know what I mean? I'm cool. Like, I did what I was supposed to do. Sometimes you don't get where you want to get, like making Olympics and the gold medals and all that kind of stuff. But it's cool though. I always felt like, it's not even feel like, I know for a fact I changed the game of track and field as a collegiate, and as a high school athlete, as a collegiate athlete, by the things I've done. So I was happy with that.
Okay.
So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna use this degree and go about my business and go somewhere high somewhere, and everybody forget about me. And that's it.
Nobody forgot about you.
But that was the plan. That was the plan.
And so what did you
So I end up I remember my high school coach ended up hooking me up with doing what is it? TSS. Working with kids with behavior issues and mental health, stuff like that. And I ended up loving it. And I was just like, all right, I need every step I go in life it's always reason. Like it's just not just because. It's a reason why.
That's different coming from not having no goals, just like I'm going with emotions, and now it's like
it's maturity, it's growth. You know what I mean? And one thing about me, I love growth. I love to see people grow. Like you grow. I love that. You know what I mean? When you hit me up, I was like, damn, that's what's up. Because I always check on you guys. Y'all don't know it, but I go on y'all page just to see how y'all doing because I love growth. Like it's warm. I love it. So I just decided. I said, let me get into this school stuff. Let me see if somebody gonna give me a job. So the district give me a job, and they brought me in. They was like, oh, you did TSS? Oh, you want to be a climate support? And I was like, oh, overpaid NTA? I was like, all right, yeah, come on. Let's get this a ride. You know what I mean? Let's get us a ride. Oh, y'all want me to coach too? Nah, I don't want to coach.
That's new. I didn't know that.
I don't want to coach.
Wow.
And then, because people don't realize my first coaching job was at West Catholic. It was at West Catholic, and they was like, "Oh, we're gonna give you $500." Oh, $500. Okay, that's cool. I'm not worried about that. I'm like, you know what I mean? The coach, the AD was like, "No, $500 for the season." I said, "Oh, you ain't about to disrespect me like that." I said, "This is what we're gonna do." I said, "You take that $500, you put it back into your program. I'm a volunteer this year."
Okay.
We're gonna do it like that. I'm not gonna be disrespected like that because I'm gonna put way more than $500 into this.
Right.
And it was a great experience. And then Overbrook called me. And
were you coaching both male and female, like the whole team?
At West Catholic?
Yeah.
But I was like only sprinters, hurdler, stuff like that. And then
you teach them all. Yeah.
Oh no, that was over with. That was done with. And I thought it was anyway until Sierra came in the picture years later. But Overbrook called me. I said, well, I'll come to a track meet, just to see it. And I went to the track meet and just seen how horrible the program was. Like, it is what it is. Like, the kids swapping uniforms to run, they warming up in Dickies and Jordans, and I'm like, yeah, this ain't gonna work. So I said, I'm gonna come in as an assistant. I came in as an assistant, made some changes, and I said, I went to the head coaching job.
Did the orange and the black?
Orange and the black. I came back in next year, I changed the whole program. We ended up going from looking like little baby kids on the track to even basically having the best uniforms in the state. You know what I mean? And sweatsuits, and I just called Nike like, yo, I need some stuff. Like, pick me up. You know, it's crazy. Like even to this day, like I still get free shoes and stuff. It was from Adidas, it was from Nike.
Decent.
On the company they do a lot for me now and stuff like that. They actually sponsored me last season.
Oh.
And we worked out something. They sponsored my kids last season, so that was dope. So you know, I always tell kids, my name is everything to me. You know what I mean? Like it can get you through a lot of doors. So you have to cherish it. Like that's your baby. And I use my name to get what I need for my kids. You know what I mean? It's not about me no more. So that's my give back. You know, I get joy out of that. So
How long you been coaching with Overbrook? Oh, I'm showing age now.
Yeah. But you know what? I'm embracing my age. I'll be 47 in April. Yeah.
I wouldn't have thought I wouldn't have said that.
I'll be 47 in April, so I'm embracing it. So I've been at Brook 22. Yeah, it's been my 22nd season.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been there for a long time. Like it's crazy because I got ninth graders and I taught their parents. So that's different. I taught their
Coming back
parents.
like, oh, you used to coach my mom.
Coming like, okay, you know my mom. I'm like, no, I don't. Yes, you do something. So you was like, teacher. I was like, oh, darn. You know what I mean? So it's just like, okay, cool. You know what I mean? So it's just, the kids, my students automatically think I'm like 35, 36, somewhere around there. And then when they find out that, nah, I'll be 50 in a few more years, you know what I mean? So it's just, it's cool. But I take care of myself now, you know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was overweight for a little bit. I was fat boy in the building. So I just got back and used to working out again. So, yeah.
Okay. And just take a step back real quick. You did mention Sierra. You know, she was dog in the 800. How did you do that? That was training, the 800. You told me you got away from that.
So
Doing sprints. How'd you get?
So this is the thing. Sierra, all right. So Sierra lived in Delaware.
Okay.
And she moved over to Philly with her dad and moved to Winfield. And she come to Brook. And Sierra was like, oh, I'm on 100, I'm on 200. Everybody runs 100 or 200. Okay, so I got you. And I just noticed her in practice.
You know I'm going back her story when I get her on here, right?
You know it already.
Okay. I just want to do the track record. Okay.
So she was like, I run 100 and the 200. I'm like, all right, sis. Okay, cool. And I started noticing in practice how aggressive she was. Like, very aggressive, like, to the point where she'd beat up on the boys, Sam and them back in the day, like beat them, like, elbow, get out, like, I'm like, this girl aggressive, you know what I mean? So I said, let's try running the quarter a little bit. And she ended up running like 62 or something her freshman year. And she was like, oh, I'm leaving, I'm transferring to Dobbins. I was like, bye. Okay. You know what I mean? Like, I'm cool. And obviously she stayed.
Yeah.
And the next year, we had a game plan.
Okay.
We had a game plan. And I said, all right, this is what we're going to do with the quarter. I said, run some relays for me. You're going to be on the football one. You're not running no hundreds, but you're going to be on the football one. You're going to run some twos, but let's grow at this 200 thing. And she came back, you know, her sophomore year, making stage around like 58 or some crap like that. And as the game plan expanded, she started getting stronger, and I started noticing some things. And that sophomore year, I said, "See, do me a favor. I want you to run the 800." We was at Roxborough, and she was like, "No." I said, "I want you to run the 8. Just listen to me." She ran the 8. She bombed. But I seen what I needed to see, that I knew she was a half miler. So we came back, and we sat down, and I said, listen, this is how we're going to do it. I said, we're going to run some 8s, and we're going to train for the 8. I said, we're going to have a heck of a cross-country season to get that base, that fundamental, so we can have it to go into the season. I said, I just need you to trust me this one season. Do it my way. Do it my way this one season. And she came in, and we ran some indoor, and she ran like 220. And said, okay, all right. But she still was hooked on this quarter. Which is fine. And it's 200, which is okay. So she only ran like 56 seconds indoor in the 400, 200. Obviously, was going to do her thing. Um, we ran a couple of eights indoor, but not like that. And I said, all right, let's run the 8 outdoors. You know what happened last year? I said, listen, I'm telling you, you're not the same kid no more in the 8. See, and she ended up running faster than the boys, right? And one thing about Sierra, she want to win.
Yeah.
She loved to win. Like, they don't even care about the time. It was about winning, you know what I mean? So I took advantage of that. And going into, the senior year, I said, all right, we're going to use the 4 to 8 as your recruiting mechanism for you to go to school. Like, I'm already putting phone calls out to everybody. Putting the phone calls out before she run the time. And when I make a phone call, I'm not wasting nobody's time. They know I'm calling with something. If I'm calling the power 5, they know I'm calling with something. I'm not calling you with no BS. Yeah. It's just not happening. Like I said, I got one. And I called Mouse. Coach Holloway, they call him Mouse, University of Florida. And he said, let me know how she do the work. I said, I'm telling you, Coach, I got one. I got a diamond. And it was a girl that went to I can't remember that school. She was really good, and she ran an 8, but she was running like 216 indoor. And I said, "See, I want you to sit on her outside hip. I said, you got more foot speed. You have the stamina to stay with her in a striking distance where you can just pass her." And she ended up beating her at Leon through 214
Indoor. In high school.
And I said, I'm telling you, I know what I'm talking about. And she was hyped. And everybody like, how you learn about the 8? And it was just, I called the right people. Like, Johnny Gray, he was the American record holder. Like, I know the people to call. And as I'm calling these people, they're like, all right, Deworski, tell me what are you doing? And I'm telling them what I'm doing. They're like, you're doing everything right. Just add this. You know what I mean? And getting her to understand her splits, her negative and positive splits in the 2s and stuff like that. And that was a game changer. Like, knowing that if she came through the first 2 too fast, it wasn't going to be where I needed to be. Like, her having understanding of her rhythm and things of that. And she ended up running like 210 out there that year. Ended up running like 54-20 indoor that year. So she had a heck of a season.
Yeah.
And she ended up going to Sierra was like me. Didn't have the grades. But I know my athletes. I knew Sierra wouldn't have made it. So I said, all right, I'm going to send you to an NAI. And she was like, yeah. I said, just trust me.
It's so funny because it seems like y'all resembling each other. Yeah.
I said, I'm going to send you to an NAI. Just trust me on this. And I sent her out to Oklahoma. I can't remember the name of that school. I sent her out to Oklahoma to an NAI. She dominated. And she came back and we trained. And I called these schools and they didn't want to believe me at this time. So I put her in Hampton.
Yeah.
I went to Hampton. I called Mo. I said, Mo, was like, I won. I said, cool. And next thing you know, I remember talking to one of the assistant coaches at St. Paul, and they was running that Penn State indoor. And they was up there. I said, my girl about to trash y'all. I'm not about to let y'all know right now. I said, I'm the all, but I'm Hampton right now. She about to trash y'all. She ain't gonna do nothing. She went out there and ran like 207 on them. And then she just blew up from there.
Yeah.
But people forgot that was my girl, that I coached her. And I would talk, they was like, yeah, who the blonde haired girl? I was like,
she was always.
That's the girl I told y'all about that I coached. It was like, yo, damn. And then, you know what I mean? So it just, sometimes it's just, listen. So yeah, dude.
Trust the coach.
That's it. Like, I'm not going to call you with no bullcrap. I'm just not. I'm not going to do that. Coach. But she was just different. She was a dog. She was aggressive. She enjoyed winning. She was a moody child. She was so moody. Oh, God. But we had like I don't want to say we had a love-hate relationship. I just, like, whatever. Just make sure you're at practice the next day. So, but I always could count on her though. Like, I knew she was going to be at practice, I ain't have to worry about her taking off practice or getting her hair done. I ain't worry about none of that. I like them girls I had was just, I mean, you remember the girl team I had? They would do anything. You know what I mean? And we was competitive. We was very competitive, but at that time the club was just competitive as a whole though on the girls side. Like the
It was
girls.
good.
Yeah,
We was
y'all
rocking.
y'all kept the pub up because man, it hasn't been like that since.
Really?
Nah.
Wow.
We got some pretty good boys, but as a whole, no, it's not like it used to be. But y'all guys
I was
was
gonna say, is it as competitive? Like
mm-mm.
we was always at
It's
neck to
too
neck
many
with
schools.
everybody. Okay.
It's too many schools. And now you're talking about like 50 something schools that got track programs. So it's spread it thin. Everybody all over the place. So it's just like, you know, you get what you get. You know, I don't have anybody saying I want to come over to one track. They're like, bro. Like, no. So, you know, I get my kids from the hallway. And you take the time, you develop them and you put the work in. Is it time consuming? Is it tiring? Yes. Like I'm in break at 6:45 in the morning. I don't leave 7:30 in the evening because I'm still in the building just finishing up practice or working with this kid, just getting extra work and stuff like that. So I got some diamonds in the rough now. I got a girl right now that's never ran track before in her life and she ended up running like 27:02 in the 200 as a freshman. And she's 14 years old. She don't know what she's doing, but she's gonna be really good. You know what I mean? But she's a freshman. I hate freshmen. It's just getting them to understand like and this, that, and oh, I gotta go home because I got all this homework. Whatever. Like, come on, man. Like, it's Overbrook. Like, come on, stop it. Like,
All right. So what can you some advice? We got some athletes out there. I'm sure a lot of people watching. What advice can you give to the athletes who are freshmen, like for instance, freshmen? What is something they can focus on if this is like, okay, I'm in love with track? Well, shoot, even football. You know, what if somebody wants to do two sports?
I
Do
think
you do you feel like they should only focus on one? Should they go to?
ride like have fun. You say I keep going back to that
Yeah.
word, have fun. But I think the most important thing is understand who you are as a person. Like look yourself in the mirror and say, can I do this? Like be honest with yourself. Like you can lie it to anybody, but you can't lie to yourself. When you look yourself in the mirror and say, can I do this? Can I compete at a high level in both sports? You know what I mean? So I just think them having that conversation, that how you want to say it, come to God conversation. And you know what I mean, then your outlook is different and you know how to go about it. And I think once you have that conversation with yourself, you know what you got to do. You know what I mean? You know what you have to do. I think it's a lot of good athletes out here that can be a two-sport athlete, but you know, they decided to just play football. You know what I mean? I think a lot of our best, me personally, I think a lot of our best track athletes are football players, but they just stay with football. And a lot of times they don't really go to the big schools they want to go to, but they could have had the opportunity to track, but they just don't put forth the effort. You know, you don't see it like you used to see it back in the day. But I think the biggest thing when I see an athlete, like if you're able to be a two-sport athlete, make sure you're able to give that same, each sport the same 100% sweat, blood, and genuine love that you're gonna give that one. Like don't get it for 100%. Oh, I'm gonna get it from like 60, 70. No, give it to the same.
And you know what? I think that's where I messed up because I had offers for both track and volleyball. But I took,
You did play volleyball.
yeah, I took one over the other
Yeah.
instead of.
And
So
I
I
think,
could agree.
yeah,
Yeah,
I think a lot of
because I
times,
had love for
yeah, but a lot of times
loved it.
people just don't have that conversation because you gotta think about it. Look at your road. Where did you go when you first came out of high school? I know. Where did you go?
Tell you.
There you go. Was you better than Kyle U? Yeah.
Yeah.
And you figured it out though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you ended up at a
At Pitt.
Division One at a program. But that's the thing, like you could have been figured it out if you would have had that time to process everything. Because a lot of times people like I just want to go to school. They're gonna pay. You know what I mean? But I always tell parents and I tell kids, you can honestly have your cake and ice cream and eat it too at the same time. You don't have to pick and choose. Me, I don't even like cake like that, but if I'm gonna eat it, I need some milk with it. So I ain't about to just have that cake. I need that milk with that cake. So I gotta have both combinations together. You know what I mean? So it's just, some people just like, all right, this is where it is, and that's where I'm gonna go. No, you selling yourself short. You're selling yourself short. And I see it a lot of times. I see a lot of kids selling themselves short. The young lady I'm working with at Springfield Delco, you know, I have great conversations with her. And the main thing what I talked to her about was, you wasn't here last year. You wasn't in the position you are in this year. So cherish it. You know what I mean? Understand where you came from and understand what you're trying to get right now. Don't allow a letdown or a fall in the meat take everything away. Like, remember, you wasn't here last year. So you're in a whole nother atmosphere right now. So every time you step on the track and there's a big meet that you didn't do last year, it's the first. It's an accomplishment. And a lot of times our kids don't look at it like that. They don't. You know what I mean? And then she'd be like, and then she'll be like, have a good meet the next meet. You know what I mean? So it's just, you know, just have conversations with your kids. You know, be wanting to see them succeed. Every coach is different. You know, like I said, my joy is seeing my kids flourish and reaching where they want to get. I don't have to live through my kid. I did it already.
Right.
I'm good. I'm solidified. You know what I mean? So I get joy out seeing them make it. You know what I mean? I get joy. You know, this is just me. Like, if my kids never been in the Army arena at the Armory, I get joy out of them seeing them, just like seeing their face. Like, wow, I like that. You know what I mean? So at that point, it's just, all right, they're gonna get their butt kicked, but at least they about to find out and know what they gotta do to be better instead of continuing to get their butt kicked.
And they would have never had that experience either.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah. So that's the biggest thing, like, advice I can give an athlete, especially that's doing a dual sport. Understand who you are and understanding what you can give to each sport that you're doing. Like, but you want to make sure you give 100% because you don't want to cheat that sport. Because a lot of times when you do cheat a sport, it comes with an injury. It comes with an injury because you're not doing what you're supposed to do and preparing for it. So yeah, that's my biggest thing.
All right, before we close this down, one last question. If I have an athlete who's coming from a household that has no support, mom always working, maybe dad's not in the life, or vice versa, might come from foster care, they don't have that outside support, how do you feel like they can get at least like some support going, or is it more so how can they get internal motivation? Where do you think that can come from? Where, you know, where should they, again, might be mentor, but what's that step they should take?
I think a lot of times is that one person that is giving them that support. It can be a teacher, it can be the counselor, it can be the nurse, it can be the librarian, whoever. It can be your neighbor. Like, really pull from it. Okay. Really pull from it, and then what you do is you pulling from that, and then you start having belief in yourself. Because then the first part is you have to have belief in yourself. Because a lot of times I see it all the time too. You can use whatever going on in the household as an excuse. And I tell my athletes all the time, I said, one thing that you have to do, you got to care about you. You care about you, you're going to be all right. You can't worry about nobody else not caring about. But if you care about you and yourself, you're going to be successful in life. And I just think you always going to find somebody to pull from in your neighborhood or in the school, because if people going to see a genuine person. Yeah. And you're going to, let me holler at you real quick. That's me all the time. Like, yeah. let me talk to you. You know what I mean? Like, I got kids in my building. The parents are calling me like, he don't talk. So, hey, you like video games? Like, just start a conversation, and they'll open up like, oh, such and such. I said, well, look, do this, do that. Next, like, yo, Coach D, what's up? Yeah. You know what I mean? Now they come into my door, which they wasn't doing before, but they seen just a little bit of support I gave them. They want more, but then they start thinking to themselves, like, what can I do as well to magnify that support in myself? Because a lot of times it comes down to self-motivation, and so many of our kids deal with low self-esteem. You know what I mean? They deal with it. They don't talk about it, but they deal with it. So just being able to just having that 5 minutes, sometimes it ain't gotta be 5 minutes, it can be 35 seconds to a minute conversation. It can change a person's life. You don't even know it. You don't even know it. So, That's the biggest thing for me that I can say that can help an individual. Like you have somebody, it can be your friend.
Yeah.
It can be your friend. Like somebody you kick it with, they telling you they motivate. Take heed to it. Yo, give me more of that. Yo, give me some more of that. You know what I mean? Like, seriously, give me more of that. And, you know, that's your support right there. It don't have to be at home. Even though you probably want it from home, you might want it from home, you got to take it where you're going to get it from.
Get it? That's deep.
So, yeah.
All right, well, look, before you head out,
Yes, ma'am.
one favor.
I don't know.
Uh-oh. All right.
What's the favor?
2 people who you think that the youth, not even just youth, but you have collegiate athletes, people who are going into, who want to be a professional athlete of any sport though. 2 people who you refer so they can tell their story, give some advice right here on Motivation Limitless. And I'm going to reach out to them on your behalf. So who would you say?
Let me think. Obviously, Sierra Brown, right?
You can't do that. That's cheating.
All right, can't do C. Can't do
He's
C.
already coming. I'm going to get C.
Sheesh.
I'll put him on the spot, y'all.
No, you didn't, because I have a young lady on my team that got a crazy story. Like, she's not the most talented person, right?
Okay.
But she works her tail off. Okay. And
what year is she?
She's a senior. She's going to Harcum. She's going to end up be running for Harcum. But her story is so crazy. She had pain in my butt, but I love her to death. And she's a magnet. It's like you just want to but you cannot help but to like her. Like it's just something about her. But she has a crazy story and just the things she's been through, and you know, being at Orton Reed, getting kicked out of Orton Reed for fighting, being in a behavior school, and being at Brook, and just, you know, I can't do this, I can't do that. Now she's like a brainiac of the sport. Like, you know what I mean? Like, she don't have to run at the track meet. She just want to go to the track meet now just to see. She had shoot me text messages. You see Quincy Wilson? I'm like, damn, how you find out about this? You're like, you know me, coach. So, I mean, C, but I mean, T, but I'm trying to think. That's a good question. Because I'm so out the loop.
Okay.
I'm so out the loop. I'm just confined to Overbrook.
So who do you think, even professionally, who did run track professionally or did a sport professionally, that you feel like, you know what, they probably been through some things, they could change the game? Like if somebody knew that they went through this, they might be going through this too, but look, this is how this person turned out.
I have a young man I'm training I'm working with. He went to St. Joe's Prep. His name is Daryl. He went to Virginia Tech, left Tech, went to a school out in Texas. Texas, he loved it, but it was too hot, couldn't hold weight. He just finished up at Marshall. Now he has a pro day with the Eagles. He has a crazy story too. My man Daryl is
what's his name?
Daryl. He went to Prep. Daryl Slaughter. He went to Prep. I think he'll be a good guy.
Okay.
He's from Philly. He's from West Philly. I like him a lot. Like I like him a whole lot. You know, we've been working on his 40, just getting his shin angle together and things of that nature and stuff like that. And just I'm trying to keep him in football mode, but also just a little bit of just a knowledge about track and field and stuff like that. I think he'll be a good guy. You would like to interview just because his journey.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Just not
sure
being put in the right position at Virginia Tech. You know, we even talked yesterday about the Virginia Tech thing with him. He was just like, he felt as though if he would have stayed one more season, that would have been his season, but he couldn't wait. So he decided, I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna go somewhere else. So Marshall was his third school, but you know, he got a couple pro days with a couple teams. I know the Colts, I know the Eagles. Obviously, the Canadian League is looking at him. So, but he said something that made me proud. Like it felt good when he said this, and I was like, oh, the Canadian League sounds good. He said, I'm shooting for high. You know what I mean? That's going to be there, but I'm not going to just lower myself because that's going to be there. I'm shooting to get where I got to get. So he has a crazy story. I like him. I think you would like to.
Okay, so that's one.
Oh, Keon Page. I don't know if you remember Keon. Keon ran for me at Overbrook. And that's my guy. He lives in Atlanta now.
Okay.
He ran in college a little bit, but Keon, I remember Keon when Keon first ran the track meet, right? And no lie, this is real talk. We watching the film, and my assistant coach came in and was like, "Damn, Key, you was rolling." But he didn't realize Key got his butt kicked. He was the last person to come in. They was already crossing the finish line because he was a little chunky. He just couldn't get it. And then he just started watching film and training harder, end up almost running like 22 seconds, end up running in college. Obviously he knew he wasn't going pro, but he was a kid that never ran track before.
Yeah.
That put that he went to Bloomsburg. He went to Bloomsburg, ran for Bloomsburg, and now he's in Atlanta. He's in the rapping industry now. He's doing really well with that. I think he'll be good. He's been through a lot. You know what I mean? So
that's a nice transition too from
yeah,
from what he does now.
like he does a lot of like motivational raps and stuff like that. He's in the mix. He's in the mix.
All right, so that's two. Other than C.
Yeah, how can C not be like that's
no,
mine? Like
because I already reached out to C. Me and C already locked in. And I told you I'm gonna make sure the story matches.
Oh, the story gonna match C. She was dope, man. She really.
I got to hear her side of the story.
She really thought she was a 100, 200 meter runner. She really did.
Tell me how you changed her. How you switched her race.
It was really just getting her to understand. Like this shit in right here. But what people don't realize, and she did start realizing it. She was a miler. She had reason for retiring, but
yeah,
she was a miler. She was a stud.
Like, so what's funny? She came in at what you ended, as in running like she wanted to run 100.
That's crazy.
You was you was coming in running a mile, thinking you was going.
She brought the best out of me. I literally had to learn. You know what I mean? Like, people automatically think, oh, people had this mindset, oh, you ran professional track. No, I know a bunch of guys that ran professional track that can't, male and female, they can't coach a lick. Like, you got to be a student of the sport. You know what I mean? Like, a student of the sport. I still am. I still, watch stuff here and there if I got it. Like, make this phone call.
I was gonna say, but you're also using resources. Like, I don't know about this. I gotta.
You have to.
Yeah.
Like, you doing your athlete a disservice because your ego. Get your ego out of the way. It's not about you. Like, it's about your athlete. You don't know something. You know somebody that do. Make the phone call. Ask them. It's not going to make it seem. It's not like you're not a good coach. It actually make you a better coach because you don't have a problem reaching out for help. I've never had a problem reaching out for help. That's never been me. That's always if I need. Shoot, what? Come on, nah. You do it by yourself. It becomes about you. You know what I mean? It wasn't about me. It was about how can I get Sierra better? How can I get Sam better in the 8? You know what I mean? Sam ended up running like 157 in the 8 from being a 201. It made him better. Like, you know what I mean? With the knowledge I end up grasping from other people and using it for my athletes. You know what I mean? Obviously, you don't want to just take that information and say, all right, I'm going to do this because he's doing this with his athlete. No, you still got to know your athletes. You got to know what they can, you have to know what they can take in practice. Can they withstand this intensity for a long period of time? Break it down. Oh, y'all do, just break it down. It's going to be the same workout, just break it down. Just make it where they can get it done. What you need done, make it. You don't got to kill them every day. People have this thing like, kill you and don't get nothing out of it. That don't make any sense. I'd rather get something out of it than you not being dead. But we hit what we needed to hit, and I'm cool with that.
You still running the hallways, Fendor?
I still hurdle. Yeah, I was hurdling the other day with my little hurdler that I'm working with. Yeah, I still get over them sticks.
How's your trail leg?
Oh, my trail leg is always going to be vicious. And after that, I don't know. My lead leg is going to be good. But after that, I can't tell you.
You coming up the hurdle?
I'm snappy. I'm snappy. I still think I'm the best hurdler in the state of Pennsylvania even to this day. Sorry. This is me.
Coach D, I appreciate
I
you.
appreciate you. Thank you for
Thank
having
you.
me.
Of course. You know, a lot of people didn't know a lot of this about you.
Yeah.
So now.
People don't ask. You know, if you don't ask, you never gonna know. And I'm not one of them people just gonna boast.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm just not just like you didn't know I'm into photography. I love photography.
Yeah.
I love it with a passion.
How long you been doing that? Oh, it's been a while. Like you've been really into photography.
A lot of equipment. Truth, over 10 years. Yeah. I'm about to start. I'm about to get rid of my equipment and move to mirrorless. Yeah, I love it. I love it. Palm pictures. I just love it. It's art.
Okay.
I mean, I've always been an art, but I can't draw like I can't draw stick person.
Left-handed.
That's probably what it is. But this, oh man, yeah. I shot a couple of the PIAA brought me in to shoot some meets like states and stuff like that.
What's her name? Patty Morgan. You taking over her job?
Patty dope. Patty dope. Patty even helped me out with sometimes. Like you know what I'm saying. I haven't shot in probably like in a year. Cause being in school with the principal program, things of that nature. I'll be busy. I'm all over the place.
I know. I was like, oh, he gonna tell me he's super busy. I was like, oh.
No, I wasn't gonna do that to you. No. I got some time right now. So
Here we go. And I said I gotta get right in between like the in the outdoor, going in the indoor.
You know what's crazy? Because I'm really a homebody.
Are you?
Yeah.
I feel like you always been a homebody though.
I'm a homebody, and this is another thing people don't know. I don't really like track. I like to see my athletes run. That's it.
But you like basketball.
I love basketball with a passion.
I could tell.
I love ball. I don't have to watch. People like you watch. No, I didn't watch the track. I don't have to watch the track meet on TV. I don't care. You know what I mean?
Watch basketball.
Yeah.
Locked in.
Locked in. What time the Carolina game?
Which NBA team?
I'm a Sixers fan.
Okay.
I'm a Sixers fan. I love football. I love basketball. This track is just, I don't know. It's just something about just sitting there watching people run around the oval. It's not entertaining. Unless it's my athlete.
Okay. Unless you're coaching in there.
If they're my athletes and coach, I love it. But when my kids are done, I can't tell you what happened. Unless it's like, obviously, I would want to see a kid, Quincy Wilson, run the floor, stuff like that, obviously, because he's a special individual. You know what I mean? I want to see that. But I don't know. It just, they be like, you see it? I'm like, no, I didn't see it. I don't know what happened. They be like, you did it. I'm like, yeah, but I don't know what happened. So that's me.
Yeah. I appreciate you.
I appreciate you.